12th, 2017. It is a Wednesday. We got one more little clip that we want to bring to you guys.
Okay, so as I was going through Syria and I was doing, there's a lot of false flags going out there, but I wanted to, when we were talking about the petrodollar and Iraq, this is really important because this, you have to see this. The web of lies, and I don't want to see this happening to Trump, because what I do see happening is Nikki Haley saying one thing, Rex Tillerson saying another. Donald Trump came out and said one thing, and then his team is saying another thing. And then Gorka came out to say and said, no, it was a one-time thing, we're not going into Syria. And we don't want to go down this path, you guys, where we have lies and we have confusion. And that's what we had with George Bush. And it messed over our heads because every time they said something, we believed it. But they said 500 different things. So what was the truth?
Political language is designed to make lies sound truthful and murder respectable, and to give an appearance of solidity to pure win.
They just need to hear that from a potential president. If we catch them in violation of the agreement, if we in any way, shape, or form find out that they're developing weapons of mass destruction, that there will be action taken. And they can just guess what that action might be.
Before September the 11th, many in the world believed that Saddam Hussein could be contained.
He has not developed any significant capability with respect to weapons of mass destruction. He is unable to project conventional power against his neighbors.
We are able to keep arms from him. His military forces have not been rebuilt.
Leaving Saddam Hussein in possession of weapons of mass destruction for a few more months or years is not an option. Not in the post-September 11th world.
That intelligence was good, sound intelligence.
We've got no evidence that Saddam Hussein was involved with September the 11th.
I don't think we ever said, at least I know I didn't say, that there was a direct connection between September the 11th and Saddam Hussein. The war on terror, you can't distinguish between Al-Qaeda and Saddam when you talk about the war on terror.
And nobody's ever suggested in this administration that Saddam Hussein ordered the attack.
But he did go to Prague and he did meet with a senior official of the Iraqi intelligence service.
Excuse me for a minute, please. The world changed that day because we had to deal with threats. No question, Saddam Hussein did not order the attacks. On the other hand, Saddam Hussein was viewed as a threat.
Critics are the only people I've heard use the phrase immediate threat. I didn't. The president did.
He's a threat because he is dealing with Al-Qaeda.
I don't know anybody that I can think of who has contended that the Iraqis had nuclear weapons, and we believe he has in fact reconstituted nuclear weapons.
You said you knew where they were.
I did not. I said I knew where suspect sites were, and we were just...
You said you knew where they were near Tikrit, near Baghdad, and north, east,
south, and north. I probably should have said we know where they were instead of we know where they are.
But so far they found no weapons.
I wouldn't say that.
At the time was we thought he had weapons of mass destruction. Turns out he didn't, but he had the capacity to make weapons of mass destruction. But I also talked about the human suffering in Iraq. What did Iraq have to do with what? Nothing, except for its part.
There are a lot of people who lie and get away with it, and that's just a fact.
I think a lot of people are saying, gosh, we hope we don't have war. I feel the same way. I hope we don't have war. I hope this can be done peacefully. It's up to Saddam Hussein, however, to make that choice. I also want to remind you that should we have to use troops, should it become a necessity in order to disarm him, the United States, with friends, will move swiftly, with force, to do the job. You don't have to worry about that.
So when I don't believe, everybody keeps saying...
political candidate
Go ahead.
who jumps to conclusions without knowing the facts is not a person you want as your commander-in-chief.
A political person who jumps to actions without knowing the facts is not somebody you want to lead. And, I think a CNN article just came out that said that the United States intercepted a conversation about Syria is going to use chemical weapons, right? I don't believe anything. I know that CNN puts out lies, and I know that if CNN is pushing so hard for this Syrian thing, that it is evil and it is wrong. And they are coming out full bore for Trump on this. The fake news network, the really fake news network, there's no truth in CNN, not a drop of it. And we have to look at what happened here with Colin Powell and
Donald Rumsfeld and
Dick Cheney
and George Bush
and everybody else.
Listen, I
there.
can't speak for the rest of you, but I kind of feel like you were all in the same exact boat as we were. Because back then, we weren't awoken to the globalists. Maybe you were, maybe you're all puffed up on pride, and I've known this for years, whatever. Most of us, we didn't know. We backed and supported Bush.
Alex Jones was the first to really break it.
We backed and supported this because we thought that we had a president
I remember
in
thinking
office.
and scratching my head because he said Saddam Hussein did not do 9/11, but we're
Right.
doing a war on terror, so we're going into all these countries.
Right.
And I remember thinking to myself, it doesn't make sense. Why? What are we doing in Iraq? And everybody kept asking, what are we doing in Afghanistan?
But you know what?
Are we
They
doing
kept
there?
saying the exact same thing that I'm hearing from some of the Trump supporters. They have intelligence that we, the people, don't have.
And we didn't hold them accountable back then. And we have to now. We have to
Because the
over-demand proof at this point.
Trump is one man. Okay, yes, he's the president, but he's one man. But the same exact swamp that was in office for Bush, Clinton, Bush, and Obama, they're all still there.
The same intelligence officers.
The intelligence agencies are still all the exact same kinds of people. We're running the exact same agenda, like we covered a little bit earlier. It's all tied to oil. It's all tied to money. It's all tied to power. And it has nothing to do with innocent babies being burned with chemicals.
And as we said before, Putin came out and said, and I believe Putin, listen, on this, I actually do believe Putin. I do believe him. He says these false flags are going to come out and they're going to keep coming. I have seen the video footage. Google it if you guys have a chance, if you really want to know, if you're going to argue with me about it, that's fine. But I keep watching the false flags, the white helmets showing up there with Al-Qaeda. I now know who Al-Nusra is. I now know who the difference between ISIS and Al-Qaeda. ISIS...
Well, Lee and Michelle, what's a false flag? I think that's a question that deserves an answer because not everybody understands. Are we saying that the actual atrocities didn't happen, that the children didn't die, that those pictures are false? There is that aspect to it. I'm not applying that aspect of a false flag to this particular situation. But a false flag is something that what has happened is more.
Can I just let this award-winning journalist explain this false flag?
Sure.
Iran-Contra journalist Robert Perry says the chemical weapons attack in Syria was launched from a joint Saudi-Israeli special operations base in Jordan, according to his intelligence sources. U.S. intelligence analysis determined that a drone was responsible for the attack and eventually came to believe that the flight was launched in Jordan from a Saudi-Israeli special operations base for supporting Syrian rebels. The suspected reason for the poison gas was to create an incident that would reverse the Trump administration's announcement in late March that it was no longer seeking the removal of President Bashar al-Assad. As we highlighted in 2013, after another chemical attack, weapons attack in Ghouta was blamed on Assad, rebels freely admitted to Associated Press correspondent Dale Gavlak that they had been given the weapons by Saudi Arabia but had handled the weapons inappropriately and set off the explosions. Perry's background lends the information credibility. He covered the Iran-Contra scandal for the Associated Press and Newsweek and was later given a George Polk Award for his work on intelligence matters.
Let's go back to the part where they were given those chemicals by Saudi Arabia. I think that's really key here because we're seeing that Saudi Arabia has such an agenda. I mean, they're the oil capital. They really do think that they have control over everything.
Are they the false flag CIA arm of the U.S. government of that wild card?
Right.
You know, I believe
they own us. I
believe that there's not a coincidence that Saudi Arabia. Why didn't we blow up Saudi Arabia? Why? That I could get behind. They blew up, they brought weapons, they brought a war to us. 15 of the 19 attackers were Saudis. They were funded by the Saudi Arabian government.
We covered this earlier. She's talking about the 9/11 attack.
You guys. And then we went into Iraq. And so anyways, I'll try to put a link to this, the contention that this incident was a false flag. And also there was another...
There are several different aspects to this. The main plausibility is the fact that these rebel groups like ISIS and Al-Qaeda abused what happened and twisted it to make it look like it was something that it wasn't.
There's an MIT professor who challenged the 2013 claims. He's from MIT, and he says that this is another one. He says on Tuesday the White House released a declassified intelligence brief accusing Assad of ordering and organizing the attack in which Syrian planes allegedly dropped chemical ordnance on civilians in the rebel-held town. The report contains absolutely no evidence that this attack was a result of a munition being dropped from an aircraft, wrote the Massachusetts MIT professor Theodore Postal, who reviewed it and put together a 14-page assessment on Wednesday. I believe it can be shown without a doubt that the document does not provide any evidence whatsoever that the U.S. government has concrete knowledge that the government of Syria was the source of the chemical attack. The chemical attack was a nerve agent did occur, but the available evidence does not support the U.S. government's conclusion. He goes on to say, it is very clear who planned this attack, who authorized this attack. This is Defense Mattis. It's very clear, okay, but it's not. Sean Spicer also said that doubting the evidence would be doubting the entire international reporting crew documenting this. What international reporting crew? You've got the rebels on the ground with their cameras.
Right.
The report offered by the White House, however, cited a wide body of open source material and social media accounts from the rebel-held areas.
Because those are official.
Those are your trusted sources? Are you joking me?
Social media accounts.
They have been caught, you guys, making these false, really, they make videos. They want to be, you think America and Australia and UK are the only people with actors? The rebels, they want to be movie stars. They have film crews, you guys. Including footage provided by the White Helmets rescue group documented to have ties with jihadist rebels. Now, I've seen pictures where the White Helmets are in the same building with Al-Qaeda.
We've seen video footage, and you guys might have seen it too. I think it was on Alex Jones, where literally they set off a car bomb. The car bomb explodes. They drive away, and then all of a sudden, all these people come. They throw their bodies on the ground, and they start kind of writhing in pain. And then the White Helmets come in and pretend to like doctor up these people.
Okay, so I want to play this real quick. He says, using social media to reconstruct the course of events raises doubts, not only among the Russian military, but among many respected experts. Oh, the video unavailable, sorry. It raises doubts in me. I'm not listening to social media accounts at all, whatsoever.
Only when they're Trump and we can laugh at him.
Exactly.
So laugh with him.
Right.
Laugh with him, I mean.
There's more to bring to you, but we want to open some mail.
Yeah, so we're going to come back with a mail call in just a bit. We love you guys. This is Leah Michelle signing off for Resistance Chicks, where it's not just a conspiracy theory if it's the truth. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Mass Faith 3 and Resistance Chicks. Ring the bell for notifications, and you can see more videos like this, and find us on Facebook and Twitter.
However, I really want to bring you a compilation of Trump or Bush isms, and we'll have to wait till tomorrow.
Yeah.
I almost peed my pants. They're so funny.
Okay. Or maybe you have incontinence problems.
No. Not really. Not unless I take way too much vitamin B.
Okay, on that note.
I was cold all alone. No place for